If somebody comes up to you and asks to do a photo shoot, but they want to do it in the nude, are you taking that job?
Well, it just depends. If I see any more than one butthole, I'm charging extra.
Tacos con todo.
Oh, are those tacos? You better believe they're tacos.
Let's get the taco. Who would have thought they'd have tacos here?
Didn't realize that's probably a Camel Ass taco.
Told my wife I wouldn't drink tonight.
Give me one of those famous giant beers I heard so much about.
Oh, what's against your lips? It's so good. Start the episode already. What are we doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tacos with Beer. I'm Alfie.
And I'm Phil.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, just having one of those good old days.
You know, it's awesome outside. It's cold.
Yeah, it is. Finally.
It's flannel weather, baby.
I like the cold weather because I like the fact that I get to put on hoodies. And the height's like, am I fat? You know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to wear hoodies for that reason.
Yeah. See, I walked outside today and I was just like, ugh. Like in the morning time, it was like 70 degrees. That's how it is in Texas. I hate when it's like you go outside, it's like 70, 80 degrees. And then, you know, now the cold front came in. Now it's like, oh shit, where'd that come from?
Dude,
but,
that's how it was this morning.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
Hot.
But then, like now that the weather's starting to come in, it used to be the opposite, where it'd be cold in the morning, and then when you come outside your workplace, it's like, fuck, it's hot. I know my car's like blazing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this morning, I walk outside, it's humid, and then by the time I was done with work, it's freezing balls. It's 50 degrees.
I love it though. I love that cold wind. I'm like, yes, I'm about to get sick.
That's what it felt like. I was like, do I have COVID?
Right.
Oh no, it's just the weather. It's changing. You got to remember that nowadays. Anytime you feel any kind of cough coming on, you're like, is it COVID?
Yeah, I'm scared. That's why I always wake up like in the morning, like, you know, I get stuffy or whatnot because of my allergies. And I'm like scared because I'm like, is this it? Do I got to call in? Do I got to quarantine myself? It's just, I can't
Am I going to die?
I can't enjoy being sick anymore because it's like you can't call in being sick because now it's like you got to go get COVID test. Like,
yeah, I know, dude. You can't just fucking
can
fake
I just
shit.
call in?
Yeah,
just can I call in because I don't feel like going.
No, they don't.
I hate that.
You got to go get a COVID test every time. Yeah, they're gonna make sure you're not fucking gonna be spreading this shit around, dude.
Yeah, thanks, China.
Dude, so you remember a couple of episodes ago we were talking about this dude on the jetpack?
Yeah, where they're on the airplanes and they just saw like Iron Man fly by.
Yeah. Well, this dude, he was spotted again, bro.
Nice.
This hero is out there in a jetpack flying around the LAX airport. Pilots again reported seeing him. So now the FBI has like launched a full investigation because they're really trying to figure out who this guy is.
Are they trying to get his weapons? You know what I'm saying? Imagine like being able to fly around in the jetpack. Like, that'd be the dream.
Yeah, that would be the coolest shit
traffic, ever. Gone.
Yeah, dude. Look at all these peasants.
Right? All your gas wasting people.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think it costs to fuel that jet? You think it runs off of gas?
Jet fuel for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you think
some like super refined jet fuel.
Where do you think he gets it from?
Well, I mean, I would assume like this dude's got to have some kind of access to like some kind of turbine engine. Yeah. Like he's got to have a small plane, so he knows where to go to get like the real fine.
Oh, are we dealing with a real life Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, or fucking what's his name?
Because that's the only reason why superheroes are like millionaires, because they can afford all that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
they want to.
Can you imagine? Like, you ever seen that movie Blank Man?
No.
It's an old movie back in like the late 90s. It's with Damon Wayans, where he's like trying to be a superhero, but he's from the hood. So he gets like his mom's or his grandmother's like her blanket and puts it as a cape, and then he uses like cleaning gloves as his gloves. You know,
I kind of feel like I'm starting to remember what you're talking about, but did you say Marlon Wayne's brother?
Yeah, the oldest one, Damon Wayans.
Okay, then maybe.
Not Keenan Wayans, but Damon Wayans.
Okay.
You ever seen that movie? That's exactly, if we were superheroes, that's what it would cost. Because being a superhero like Batman and Iron Man, that takes a lot of money that we ain't got.
Yeah, we're gonna be out there with a freaking cobija and some fucking dishwasher gloves.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he had.
Oh, okay.
Fucking throwing boots and shit, knocking people out.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. We would definitely be poor.
Yeah, because this guy who's running around with the jet, That motherfucker's got some money.
Oh hell, dude, he's got a jetpack.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's got a jet somewhere.
Kudos to that guy, sir. We salute you.
If you want to be on the show, let us know.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
So one of the recent things that just happened, who is a fast food restaurant chain here in the U.S. just made its way into China. Can you take a guess who that is? That is Panda Express.
Nice. I like Panda Express.
Yeah, they just made their way to China.
You think they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this fake shit?
Well, my deal is like, is that like taking Sen to the beach? Okay, so I'll tell you like, like my experience with like actual Chinese food, and not to insult anybody out there, but it is disgusting.
What?
We don't have the palate for it. Like Panda Express or like what we think of Chinese food,
Yeah.
it is nothing like that.
So you're saying it's different?
Yes, this is like what we think of Chinese food is not what people in real China eat.
and all that's like not Chinese food at all.
No.
Dang, so I'm not even living.
Nope.
What's real Chinese food then?
Bro, I couldn't explain it to you. Like the textures, it's like you're eating like a piece of like clothy. I don't know. It's just.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's how they
smells. It's completely different, man.
I'm pretty sure that's how they feel about Mexican food. Like we go to Taco Bell and like freaking eat that shit, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" You know? Then you go home.
Well, I don't know if you know that's what happened to Taco Bell, right? They went to Mexico, but
and they got kicked out.
Yeah,
Like, what
well,
the
it
fuck
failed.
is this?
It failed because everybody was just like,
So Panda Express needs to take a book out of Taco Bell and be like, "Look, bro, don't go over there."
well, yeah, no. So Andrew Chang from China established Panda Express in Pasadena, California in 1973. It's tangerine peel chicken, General Tso's chicken, Kung Pao chicken have formed many Americans' main impression of Chinese food, which is what I was talking about. It's like, this is like what we think is Chinese food, but real Chinese food is nothing like that.
What do you think? Well, how do you think real Chinese food is made then?
Well, it's like talking about like homemade, right?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about like, well, it's because it's really difficult to explain to somebody about like homemade Mexican because we have a palate for it here in the U.S. Everybody loves Mexican food, right?
Yeah.
Like even if it's like homemade stuff, because like even the stuff like that you would not necessarily really be into, kind of like menudo, which is made out of like cow stomachs and it smells and
You don't like menudo, right?
No, I'm not a fan. I do like my mom's menudo, but I'm weird. The only thing I'll eat is the broth. I don't eat anything else. No.
Remember how I told you I don't like avocado?
Yeah.
And you're like, everybody's gonna hate you. I feel like a lot of Mexicans are gonna hate you for not liking menudo.
Well, like I said, I just
What is that? What is one of your? So okay, so mine is
the
avocado.
smell.
Yours is menudo. What
Yeah.
else?
Something else is like super Mexican that I'm not really into.
Yeah.
Oof, man, that's a good question because I don't know.
You want to know?
Oh, you know what it is?
What
I
is
could
it?
already tell you, and that is barbacoa, especially
Same.
sheep.
Same.
I am
I
not-
don't like it.
Dude,
I don't like it.
I'm really boring. I have like 3 meats that I stick to. That's chicken, beef, and pork. Anything outside of that, I'm gonna say.
You know,
I'll take a
I've
pass.
never been a
I'll
fan
take a rain check.
of that. I've never been a fan of it. My mom makes it or my dad makes it, and we'll go for Sunday. We'll go eat like in the morning or eat breakfast over there, and they have it like get you some. My wife's like, okay. She starts pouring it. And I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I don't like this stuff. I never liked it, but that's one thing.
That's the thing with me is the texture. And I gotta tell you, it looks amazing, right? Like when people are eating barbacoa,
Yeah.
and they're like dunking it in the sauce, and it's like the
Yeah.
tacos of it. I'm like, that looks amazing, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a pass.
My dad's like, you want a barbacoa taco? And I'm like,
Yeah.
not really.
So back to the China. I mean, to the
Back to coronavirus.
back to
Go.
Panda Express. A Chinese student who's studying in the U.S. who had been to Panda Express several times in the U.S. said that the food was pretty much like so. So it's like I'm saying
fuck
like
does
they're.
he know?
Well, he's Chinese.
Oh.
He's studying abroad, coming to the U.S. and trying it, and he's just saying like, it's a standardized fast food, but it doesn't really translate to like Chinese, to like the actual Chinese food that they eat.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fast food, bro. Like, come on. Like, I don't judge McDonald's, but like, your shit doesn't taste grilled. Come on, bro.
I do. That's why I don't eat there.
I mean, have you ever seen The Founder?
Yes.
I think it's a good movie. Sorry, I got off track, but since you said McDonald's, or I said McDonald's,
You said McDonald's.
I thought about The Founder.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't go to the only place you can go to a burger joint and be like really grilled is Burger King. I like Burger King because it actually tastes grilled.
Get the fuck out of here right now.
I
Leave
can't.
this
You got all the
fucking
shit in the way.
place.
I can't leave.
I can't. There's not one. If there's one restaurant that never comes to mind when it comes to fast food, is Burger King.
You don't like Burger King?
No, I do not.
I like Burger King.
There's.
I mean, I
nothing-
like, you know me, like nothing's ever gonna change my heart like Whataburger. But if I
Yeah.
had to choose another burger spot, it would be Burger King.
You take Burger King over Taco Bell.
Fuck yeah! Talk about
is wrong with you?
disgusting, bro.
What is wrong with you?
No, what's wrong with you? Taco Bell will
hope you
clog
get
your
COVID.
toilet.
Whatever.
Taco Bell will clog your toilet.
Well, anyways, since we're talking about China, Chinese COVID-19 vaccine candidate safely triggers antibody response. So the Chinese people are getting closer to finding a vaccine to COVID-19.
Well, according to the president, we're about to have ours in weeks.
Oh, yeah? So a COVID-19 vaccine candidate
Weeks.
being developed in China has been found to be safe and trigger antibody responses. The early results have shown. So researchers said that those aged 60 and over were slower to respond to the BBIBP Core V vaccine, which is a mouthful. But they said it was encouraging that the vaccine did trigger such a response. So are you trusting that vaccine as soon as it shows up here?
Look,
and we can get it?
If Corona is a virus, like they call it coronavirus. Okay.
Is it real? I think that most people want
Well,
to know if
it
it's
is real because I feel like I had it in January 1st.
I feel like a lot of people feel that same way.
Yeah, because I've never been sick like that ever in my life, and I felt like death, like I was gonna die. That was it for me. And the last show that I was watching in that time was Silicon Valley, so I was like, if I'm gonna die, at least I'm gonna die watching this show.
Yeah, that's a great show.
That's a really good show. Now, I don't know for as far as the vaccine for coronavirus because it's a virus. You know, there's really even when you go to the doctor and you have a virus, they tell you, well, there's nothing we can give you. You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah, well, it's like the flu vaccine, right? You get one every year, but we've never been able to get rid of it.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. But it's like, if they give you the flu shot because apparently the flu shot is last year's flu because every year it mutates, right? It's a different strand of it. So I feel
I guess, when you go to COVID, this is the 19th version of it, I suppose.
yeah. So it's kind of like, yes, people are dying of it, but yet also people are dying of heart diseases, diabetes, and everything else. So do we stop all fast food restaurants if they're giving you diabetes?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, exactly. So
The sad part is it's actually cheaper to go get fast food than it is to the grocery store and get groceries. So
yeah, that's what I've heard.
welcome to America.
I've heard that you save more money buying fast food than you would doing groceries. Now, I had an argument with somebody that I used to work with, and he said that's not true. But I was like, it just depends. Like if I'm making peanut butter jelly sandwiches all week, then yeah, I'm not. I'm
No.
money.
But there's a difference. So I'm talking about like if you're getting like healthy stuff, like you got, make healthy foods.
Yeah.
That's extremely expensive versus you just going to McDonald's and getting a 99-cent sandwich.
Well, think about it. If people want to get healthy, they're going to buy it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to up the price because I know you're going to buy it because it's healthy.
No, I know, but I understand that, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to say like for families, it is way more expensive to go get healthy food than it is to just be like, well, I guess we're all gonna go get 5 burgers for $5.43.
I mean, even a salad at McDonald's or any other fast food is more expensive than getting a number one, whatever the number one is.
From McDonald's.
Yeah.
I hate that you keep hitting me with like the number ones and the number two.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm like, motherfucker, who pays attention? When I get there, I look at the fucking menu.
It's McDonald's, bro. It's the same fucking menu that we've had since we were kids.
Okay.
It doesn't change.
If you want to talk about In-N-Out, In-N-Out has 3 fucking things. You get your.
I've never been in In-N-Out.
Oh shit! Whatever. Here we go again with this shit. Whatever. So if they get it and it goes good, it's coming from China. Do you think people here would want to take the vaccine? I feel like people already don't want to take vaccines. There's like this whole anti-vaxxer movement.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to piss.
I don't know. You kind of brought it out. So I don't want to get into it.
I'm just saying, like, are people going to want to take it, especially knowing that it's coming from China, where it's like the epicenter from Wuhan?
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I would say let me give it a year or two. Let me see if I die or not before I take it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So
For my kids'
research.
sake,
Okay, so the
maybe.
researchers said no serious adverse events were reported within 28 days of the final vaccination. While the most common side effect was pain at the injection site, although a small number of participants reported experiencing death. I'm just kidding, a fever. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's too bad. If they figure it out, I'd be like, hey, you guys started this shit. You might as well finish it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would have to see how it plays out because my immune system is a lot different from everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like my body can fight off a lot of viruses, and that comes from me just working, outside and being
a fucking dirty animal rolling in the dirt.
Exactly. I'm at dirty places, so my body's used to being dirt.
Getting out there, rapping around.
Yeah.
All right, so a rapper who boasted on YouTube about getting rich from unemployment fraud gets arrested for unemployment fraud.
Fucking stupid idiot.
So a rapper who...
That's like, look, I'm sorry. That's like these dumbasses, they get on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram showing like, look how much weed I got, bro. Like, hey, hit me up in the inbox for an ounce. Like, bro, you honestly think that a cop or undercover person's not scrolling through your shit and be like, oh, well, let me hit him up.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. So this dude, he was boasting on YouTube, on a YouTube music video about getting rich from committing unemployment benefits fraud. He was arrested on Friday in Los Angeles on federal charges of carrying out that very scheme by fraudulently applying for more than 1.2 million in jobless benefits, including by using stolen identities, federal prosecutors announced. So this dude, he got $1.2 million from the fraud, dude.
What's his name?
His name is Fontrell Antonio Baines. He's 31, who uses the stage name Nuke Bizzle.
God, they nuked his ass with that. Oh my God. I'm gonna look him up on SoundCloud. If his music is terrible, he deserves to go to jail.
Baines, who's from Memphis, Tennessee, and currently resides in the Hollywood Hills, is expected to make his initial appearance Friday afternoon in Los Angeles federal court.
I mean, does it still give you street cred? I stole 100. I stole 102 million.
$1.2 million.
Yeah, I stole 1.2 million.
Look, the criminal complaint alleges 3 felony offenses: access device fraud, aggravated identity theft, and interstate transportation of stolen property. If convicted of all charges, Baines would face up to 22 years in federal prison, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
It's an idiot. Like you don't get street cred for doing that. Like, come on, bro. Like, look, that's like you told. It's like everybody talks about being snitches. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a snitch. Half these motherfuckers are snitching on themselves.
Yeah, dude, he was out there. So, like, part of the evidence that was gathered during the investigation established that at least 92 debit cards that had been preloaded with more than 1.2 million in fraudulent obtained benefits were mailed to those addresses, according to the affidavit. Baines and his co-schemers allegedly accessed more than 704,000 of those benefits through cash withdrawals. So he was able to get 704,000 in cash.
He deserves to go to jail. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Nuke Bizzle. Hey guys, we're taking a break to talk to you about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Me and Phil did it. You can too. And the best part, it's free. Anchor hosts our podcast. And I don't know if you noticed, but we didn't start sounding great until we switched to Anchor. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast. And honestly, the best part is Anchor will distribute your podcast on everything: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money, guys. Trust me, Anchor is everything you need. Anchor. All right, Phil. So this podcast has grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right. From like when we started, you
Yeah.
know, when you and I had talked about this for a long time,
Yeah,
you know,
we
for
actually
years.
had it like what 2 months in the making. You kind of brought the idea to me, and to be honest, when you had brought the idea to me of doing the podcast, I was just kind of like, okay, because I've had so many people hit me up about a podcast, to do a podcast and be a part of a podcast, but it just never fell through. So I just felt like, you know, when you came and you told me about it, I was just like, we'll see. You know,
Yeah.
let's see how far. But
Yeah,
when
like-
you started like really getting in, like, look, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. Then I was like, all right, you're on board. Because one thing about me is, I can't be all in unless you're somebody else is full into.
Well, yeah, especially when it's something like this, because taking on a task like this is huge, man. It's
Yeah.
the amount of equipment that you need, you know.
Yeah,
and
to do it right, to do it
Yeah,
at a professional
exactly.
level, and you know, I think you know when
And from the get go for us, what I told you was like, dude, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be right, and like the sound quality. That's what I was really after, you know, because I was like, it's really important for a
Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
you know, for people that are listening.
and then I told you, I was like, if we want to do video, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah, which is, you know, where we're kind of, I ended up like, because, you know, to begin with, learning a switchboard, learning to do editing, you know, anything that has to do with a mixer, all that stuff is just new stuff, right?
Yeah.
To me. So it's all this stuff that I'm having to learn. And then it's like now we're doing video. So it's
Yeah.
like now I'm down this road where it's like videography and photography.
Yeah.
And that is a whole other
That's
thing.
a whole different ball game. Like I even just being photography and videography are two different ball games. But like I feel like for me, when I got into photography and videography, I was like at a young age.
Yeah.
So like when I picked up like my first camera to record and do all that, man, I remember my uncle, he used to have this JVC camera,
Yeah.
and it was the big one that you carry on your shoulder that you put videotapes.
So it's like the 90s.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You put VHS tapes in it. And so
I feel like every uncle had one of those.
yeah, my uncle had one, so he was like, he would let me play with it, and I was about, man, I was 7, 8 years old, and I
Yeah.
would walk around and I would be taping like our Christmas stuff, you know, I'll be taking it everywhere, just videotaping stuff, and I think that's when I had the love for, you know, having for videography. Now, before all these kids came out and YouTube came out, like that's what we had. And that's
Yeah.
when I started, you know,
You'd record.
I would record
on your camera.
Yeah. And, you know,
Yeah, we had a video camera too that I'd mess around with, you know, recording just family function stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
and then, you know, then it came out with then the Sony came out with the 8mm, which is, you know, the handheld cams, you know, then you had, you know, you take it from a tape, you put it inside whatever it was a transfer, and you would transfer it to your laptop. But back then, you had the old where you had to like manually edit it. You know, you would have to cut tape and everything. So now it's totally different. Now everything's digital.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I never did that. Cut tape, like Jesus. No,
See,
no, no,
like,
no.
and also I
No.
took videography and photography in high school.
Yeah,
So and then one of my main electives that I stuck with was media technology. So when I went to high school, I learned more about it, and I learned how to edit. Like I think my very first project of media technology was stop animation, and we watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, because all that was stop animation. So I know how to do that because it's all about pictures that
Right.
you have to take. So,
yeah. You know what's really crazy to me is like we have like a full blown production going here. You
Yeah.
know, we really do. And learning all this stuff, I feel like people pay a ton of money at school, which are like some of these schools
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
where you're paying a ton of money to go and learn all this stuff when it's almost pretty much free on YouTube.
yeah.
Or just watching. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to get out of it, you know, because you might actually meet somebody who will teach you like certain techniques and,
Yeah.
you
'Cause
know,
a lot
things
of
like
techniques
that.
are like basically they're your own style.
Yeah.
Like there's the one thing about photography is there is no right or wrong. That's what the cool thing about it is there's no wrong or right way. Well, there is a wrong if your image is like you can't see nothing, but the creativity
Yeah,
part of it, there's
if it's
no
black.
wrong. There's no wrong to creativity because it's
Right.
creativity, you know? So when I got deep into photography, I think it was about in 2014, 15, when I was like, I bought my first camera and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get really involved in photography because I was already involved in videography. Like I
Right.
was already like editing stuff, shooting stuff, but I was like, photography is like a whole different other ball game. And it kind of helped me out with videography too, because in photography, you know, you learned about your ISO, you learned about your lights and everything. So I got heavily deep involved in that. And then, you know, I felt like that just put me on the path that I wanted to be as a full-time career.
Yeah.
Because, you know, remember I used to do music. I used to
Yeah.
do music, and then there was times where I got really involved into music and started learning more about music. But then I was like, I remember this one time that I was in between music and media technology, that I had my brother-in-law actually shoot my video for me because I didn't want to pay nobody.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I could do this myself, then why spend the money? If I have the equipment, why spend the money on somebody else? So I was like, hey, noob, you want to do this? You know, I mean, the video could have been a lot better, but, you know, you get for what you paid for, and it was free.
You know, when I was in high school, I was, you know, doing the same thing. I was doing video stuff. You know, I was really taking it seriously, because we had to do for my video class, we had to, like, two of the major things was, like, we had to do 2 commercials, and then we had to film a short film, right? Yeah. So, like, I remember the first commercial that I shot was I took one of these shoes that I had. I think they were All-Stars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were All-Stars. I took off the logos, and I drew my own logo on it. They were white sneakers, you know? So I just, like, with a marker, I drew my own. I came up with my own logo, and I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do for this commercial is I'm going to shoot somebody running, and, you know, I can't remember the name. Might have been like Incas or something, you know? And, like, so what I was doing was, like, I put myself in the back of the Blazer that I had at the time. And, like, we folded the seat down, and then I had my buddy driving, and I was in the back, and we were just filming, like, as the dude was running, you know, like, that's how we were running. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll fix all the sound in post, and, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do all this shit. Right. So, you know, we shoot this whole commercial, and I'm feeling really great about it. I was like, oh, we got great footage. And so I just dump it onto the computer. And editing, I was like, fuck me. I was like,
what the fuck did I get myself into?
What did I just do?
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't have YouTube. I couldn't just be like, hey, you know, it's like I'm asking people. Everybody's like, I've never used Windows Media Player, you know, movie editor. And I'm just like, come on, dude. I'm like, how do I take the sound out? Like, how do I get rid of it? And it's like, how do I add just like, because what I wanted to do, I recorded myself going like, like if I was running, you know, and I was just going to add it. And it was just like to the point where I got extremely frustrated. And I was like,
discouraged.
Yeah. And so I reshot it again, and I did a gel commercial, you know, with a friend. So it was like, is your hair lazy? Is it dumb?
Like me trying to fucking film.
Yeah, dude. So I ended up doing like some gel commercial, you know.
That's cool.
But it came out really good, you know, because after doing all that, like, I learned to do the shots, right? So it was like, okay, so we could take a shot from this angle, and it was like I was learning to cut, right? So it was like, okay, we can't just run with it. It's like, since I'm not gonna edit, it was like we have to edit on the spot, okay? So it's like, if I'm gonna do this shot here, we'll take it this way, and then I'll cut here, and then we'll add it this next shot, and then we'll start from there as if the commercial never stopped, you know? So it was just like this whole cohesive thing where I didn't have to really edit, other than, you know, just put it through the Windows player and add like credits and things like that.
Yeah. See, that's the fun part of videography, because it's like, it's so creative. Yeah. And yes, when you start to edit, it's a whole different other ballgame.
Yeah, that's a whole other ballpark.
Like, you know, just, you know, editing itself, it takes time, but you got to really love what you do, and you have to love the art and the craft of it in order to sit down and be patient with it, because it's when you're editing, it's all about creativity. How do you see this shot? How do you see yourself editing this? How do you see the ending product to be? And sometimes you just make it up on the fly. Yeah,
and, you know, when you're doing things like that, you're constantly thinking in frames, because you're always like, okay, so if I'm going to do this, you're like, okay, like that. Or
and they always
take it from a different angle, or where, this perspective might be better here or here. So it's kind of weird, right? Like, once you start doing that, I'm telling you, that little 30-second commercial took me probably about a good 3 weeks to do.
Yeah, I mean, even
like, doing like from failing multiple times, you know, where it was like, it's not right. And it's like going back and redoing it. I ended up winning that thing. And we shot a short film that I did with my best friend at the time, we did a parody of A Clockwork Orange. It
Yeah.
was a 30-minute film, short film. I want to say it's about like 30, and that, dude, 30 minutes, shooting 30 minutes of anything is a whole challenge. That took us months.
Yeah,
we did
man.
months and months.
The
of doing
longer
that.
the longer it is, the longer it's gonna take to post edit. I mean, hell, we do almost an hour podcast, and it literally took me 3 days to edit it. You know, because it's like
Dude.
it's an hour podcast. It took me 3 days to
just
edit it.
setting everything up to do all this takes hours and hours.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always like anytime you do anything at this scale, even though it's like us, we're like small fry, you know.
Yeah.
But dude, it is so ridiculous the amount of time and
Yeah,
things you have to do.
exactly.
It's like
So with me, like when I started learning about photography, you know, I was learning more about lighting. I was learning about like setting up your shot. You know, it takes time before the actual shoot happens. And I remember my teacher, my media technology teacher, she taught me if I learned anything in high school, everything was from my media technology class. Like I still use a lot of her teachings to this day. And I remember her giving me the 5 P's in life. And that's prior planning prevents poor production. And
Yeah.
that's right. Anytime I do anything, it has to be planned, it has to be written out, it has to be documented. You know, and it has to be ready to go before I even hit the record button, or if I take my first shot. It has to be planned. Like sometimes I can get away with doing stuff on the fly, like, you know, just right then and there. And sometimes those are the best pictures, or those are the best things, is when you're just made up on the fly. But for the most part, to do something professional, it needs to be planned out.
oh yeah, for sure, man.
So I mean, that's you know, like I said, like when I was in between music and media, I decided to take towards media as a career, and next thing you know, it just landed me to what I do as a full-time job, which is, you know, as my hidden identity behind, you know, doing the podcast. Of some people who don't know, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a big Cowboys fan, or, you know, you wear a lot of cowboy gear, but to be honest, it's because I work for the Dallas Cowboys, and I just don't tell nobody that. But I work in the production side of the show, you know, of the games, of the other things. So I had to learn about videography and all that photography and broadcasting just to kind of like be in the field that I'm in. And it's just a blessing how I got there. You know people, you always network with people, and that's how I ended up getting into the job. So that's my full-time job, is I deal with production. So
yeah, I mean, it's not about who you know. It's about whose dicks, whose dick you suck to get there.
Right?
I'm just kidding.
My throat hurts.
But yeah, man, we'll see. Because, you know, when I was a kid, I really did want to get into it. And I did look at some options to do that. And it was it cost too much money, you know, and I was always a hands-on kind of guy, you know, so I was always like, oh, I want to work with my hands. So, you know, I ended up going to school to do, you know, just flight engineering stuff, you know, so it was just like getting in with helicopters, airplanes, doing things with that stuff. And that's what I had a real interest in, you know, because like I've always been into like mechanical things, things moving, you know, like taking things apart, putting it back together, kind of stuff. I was like really into that as a kid. So I was like, I want to do something like this for myself when I get older. You know, it's like, if you know, it's that old saying that if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. So I was like, yeah, well, I want to go do that. But you know, that stuff is extremely fucking boring, as I found out. And it was just
it wasn't all glitz and glamour as I thought it was gonna be.
No, it's not, you know, because I'm like a fast pace, you know, and it's, you know, I remember working in a bank, you know, as a kid, and it's like you're literally sitting there counting minutes, and I really was doing the same thing there. And I was like, this is not what I envisioned, you know, because it's like I'm sitting here, I did this, and it's like, you know, when it comes to like avionics, anything that you do, if you start something, you have to finish it, you know. So it was like, if you do something with glue related, if that glue takes 15 hours to cure, guess what? You have to sit there and watch that bitch cure. You know? So
that's one of those I just get up and walk out.
You can't, you know, because it's like you're literally one note away from saying like you got up and left, and then that plane goes down, and it's like, Well, where did they fuck up? Let's go
Yeah,
through the
right.
whole fucking manual
Oh,
here.
man.
Let's go through this whole logbook. You logged in at this time and this, and it's like, wait, you took a break.
You took a shit. What?
You left? Oh,
Your
shit.
shit cost us the plane.
Well, your ass is going to jail now because you murdered a bunch of people.
Oh man. But you know what? You have to love what you do. Like I see a lot of people who take a lot of their art form and they make it as a business. You know, and that's cool, but you know, you really gotta really love it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
To
yeah,
kinda,
I mean,
like,
if you
take
really
a
do
leap of
take it,
faith.
if you take an art form and turn it into a business, I think at some point you're gonna get kind of frustrated, bored, and
Yeah.
tired. Because if it becomes your 9 to 5, you're just like,
And that's
I want to go home and do something completely different.
yeah,
you know,
and that's true. Like you know, because I live in the sports world. You know, where everything I do is sports, and to be honest, I kind of lost interest in sports itself.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
bad, you know?
Yeah,
I don't like, I used to be a heavy football watcher every Sunday, watch games. But now it's like, I'm in the scenery and I'm in the sports world. It's like when Sunday comes, I really don't watch the games. I just watch the Cowboys or I because I'm there, you know, I have to be there.
yeah.
So, but I would say you need to pick up a hobby and find something that makes makes your living worthwhile.
Yeah, and I have a shit ton of hobbies.
Yeah.
And
I know.
photography.
When you told
is
me that you're
definitely
picking
a
up,
lot
when you
more
told me you wanted to
expensive.
pick up a camera, I was like, "Are you ready to run down this fucking rabbit hole?" Because this is
Man,
an
it's been-
expensive hobby, but it's
fun.
It
It's
is
fun as hell.
It's real fun. Once you start getting out there and start being creative, you start shooting shit. And I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, you know what? With Alfonso, you know, getting inside the photography world, I was like, man, it's gonna make me, you know, start pulling out my camera again. And
Yeah, like
wanna
it's
get-
reigniting
it's
the flame.
reigniting the flame.
You're like,
Exactly.
yeah,
She's
dude,
all
that's
like,
cool.
She's like, I knew it. I knew it. I was waiting for it. I was like, why? She's gonna pick up his camera and he's gonna start doing shit again. But I was like, yeah, because I feel like, you know, when, you know, with me, once I dive all in, I dive all in. And, you know, for a while, it was just me by myself doing like photography, videography. And then when you're just doing it by yourself, it just you kind of lose all kind of motivation because you're by yourself.
Yeah.
But now that you have
You
somebody,
kind of
like,
want somebody there going like, damn, that looks
Exactly,
dope. That was a
exactly.
great shot. Like, oh, dude, let me see the
giving you
rest.
tips or you giving
Yeah.
somebody else tips. Like that's what starts to, you know, you have to be in a creative environment to have
Yeah.
that flame.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like we are here. It's like we're constantly like we're always like going over notes,
Yeah.
over things. It's always something new. It seems like
Yeah.
we're always doing something new. So that's been a shit ton of fun for me, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like I've gone through things in my personal life where
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I'm filling it with other stuff,
Yeah,
and
that's what you got to do.
and it feels good,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
because I'm
what it-
like, yes,
'cause
you
you
know, it's
start-
like I
'cause-
got things and I'm doing things, and it's like I can feel like I have a lot of spare time, so it's like I think about the show a lot, the notes, the things that I want to do with it, and then it's like now I got photography, videography, where I can go outside, just shoot. I have a huge golf course around me where it's like I'm just like shooting, you know, and there's like wildlife around, so I'm just like taking pictures of all kinds of random shit.
I mean, you got to, man, because I remember being in a dark place at a certain time, and that's what actually pulled me out. Is you have to reinvent yourself. You have to. You have to discover. That's when you find out who you are as a person.
Yeah.
You find out your hobbies. Your hobbies is what makes you who you are. So that's what I tell people. They're like, well, what do you want to do with your life? Well, I don't know. Well, what do you like doing on your spare time? That's what I always ask people.
Yeah.
If that's what you do on your spare time, what you do as a hobby, that's who you are.
What if it's drinking beer and playing video games?
Then you're a big time socialist.
Socialist.
I mean, you just like to socialize.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're on there
You know what I'm
talking to
saying?
everybody.
You can be a gamer. You know, you can be a gamer.
Be a streamer.
Yeah, you can be a streamer. You know,
Yeah.
some people make living. You can make a living off of YouTube now.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
what
the
a
goal.
lot of people. Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
goal. It's the I know this guy. And I'm gonna say how I know him, but I know this guy. He was a lawyer. He graduated from Harvard, and he was going to he was doing his lawyer things. But one day he picked up a camera and said, "You know what? I'm gonna get on camera and I'm gonna talk about Pokemon." So he gets on camera and he starts talking about Pokemon. And from there, he made a YouTube video and it blew up and he quit being a lawyer. He said that he makes more
That's
money.
fucking awesome.
He makes more money being a YouTube person talking about Pokemon than he does being a lawyer. Think about that. Being a lawyer. Now, people strive to be lawyers. And this fool quit that to be a YouTube for talk about Pokemon.
See, that's the dream, and that's awesome because I feel like being a lawyer, it's got to suck fucking dick, man. Because you are dealing with the worst of the worst, or might be a real innocent person. I don't know.
Anyways, well, just do what you love, bro.
Yep.
Do what you love.
Find a hobby.
Find a hobby and go fuck it.
Hey guys, we're taking a break to talk to you about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Me and Phil did it. You can too. And the best part, it's free. Anchor hosts our podcast. And I don't know if you noticed, but we didn't start sounding great until we switched to Anchor. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast. And honestly, the best part is Anchor will distribute your podcast on everything: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money, guys. Trust me, Anchor is everything you need. Anchor. Anchor. Anchor.
There's someone standing over there. Come and play with us.
Here's Johnny.
This Hell Nah is brought to you by Anchor. If you're interested in doing a podcast and get on all major platforms, then get with Anchor, because that's what me and Alfonso did. Alfonso is going to tell us a spooky story. You like that, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. So we're going to talk about the Axe Murder House. So this is the Villisca Axe Murder House in Villisca, Iowa, is a well-known tourist attraction for ghost hunters and horror lovers alike.
Jesus Christ.
The site of a gruesome, unsolved 1912 murder in which 6 children and 2 adults had their skulls completely crushed in by an axe of an unknown perpetrator was purchased in 1994, it was restored to its 1912 condition and converted into a tourist destination. It costs $428 a night, and where visitors always report strange paranormal experiences such as visions of a man with an axe roaming the halls or the faint screams of children.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so if I were to ever fucking stay in a house like that, I'm out. I wonder if they get the refund. That's what I'm wondering.
No, you don't get a refund, man.
Fuck that, bro.
They have a no refund strict policy.
Well, yeah, because if no refund, or you could die.
It costs $500 a night.
Hell no, I'd rather stay at
La Quinta Inn?
yeah. I'd rather stay in the suite at La Quinta Inn for that shit.
Dude, La Quinta Inn suite will probably run you like $150 a night.
Yeah, and I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, I guess depending on where you're at.
And I probably wouldn't die.
Yeah.
You know?
But so, people like to go and do all kinds of crazy stuff there, they just like experiencing things, right? When it comes to like this horror phenomena, who's not a big fan of it? It's like Halloween is all about getting comfortable, getting a hot chocolate, watching a horror movie,
I think that's Christmas.
No.
I don't want to drink no hot chocolate watching no damn horror film.
Why not?
Cause
what are you gonna drink? Whiskey?
I could, cause shit. I'm not a big fan of scary movies, so I need to get fucked up. We were watching this one movie. Well, I had my family over and we were watching. Have you ever seen that movie Hereditary?
No.
Okay, it's fucking weird and it's
Is
scary.
it about your ancestors?
No, it's about like
ancestors. I mean,
it's
whatever.
about it's like this lady. She's comes from like a witch family. And they have to get like the boy and the daughter. It's like they're very, very demonic and they got a crazy sinister part of their family that the mom doesn't know about, and she's like learning to find everything out, and it has to do a lot with her kids. So it's basically just some crazy shit.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing right now. Anything that has to do with demons, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I really don't care, about like Halloween or like what's that dude that kills you at night? I mean, in your dreams, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Movies like that.
Yeah.
Or like that. What is that other satanic movie where it's like that dude with all the nails?
Exorcist.
No.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I could give a crap. Like
Exactly.
it doesn't bother me. But I'll tell you what. I was sitting alone in my apartment watching this movie called Paranormal Activity. And
the
it
first
gets
one?
to the
first one.
I had heard things about it, right? Because this is when it first, like, I guess it originally released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I was watching it, and I didn't really know much about it, other than all this hype. Because they wouldn't even show you anything about the movie. They would just show you people's reactions. It's like, oh, that was the trailer. So I was like, oh, whatever. There's really, it's all jump scares, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, jump scares, cool,
Hyping
whatever.
the video up.
Yeah, that's how you gotta, like, when you're sitting there, you gotta breathe. And when you hear the music, like, coming up, you're like, all right, here comes a jump scare. Well, no, it gets to a point in the movie where she goes upstairs and she says something about the picture and a demon, and I was like, poof, turn that bitch off, and I was like, I'm out.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, not doing this.
I'm not doing it.
I'm
what?
not watching this shit.
Yeah,
I'm
so
out.
when I thought it was more of like just a scary movie. That had a lot to do with like demonic stuff. Look, I can't stand.
Yeah.
I don't like movies that when they turn demonic and they start climbing on the walls and shit. Yeah, that's just like
The Exorcist.
Yeah, like The Conjuring. I would say The Conjuring was a scary movie for me because it's just like just demonic stuff doesn't like allow me to sleep. Like I just be like, and then it just be hanging up on the wall and shit. Now at my house I got high ceilings, so like when I got through watching that movie, like I was like literally like walking in every room, turning on the light, like looking up. Like I wish a motherfucker would be hanging in the corner somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
now
dude.
you got this guy from Villisca, the axe murderer.
They never found him, and
Oh hell no!
he crushed the heads of 6 children and 2 adults in this house. So it sounds kind of like that movie. What's that movie where that guy kind of goes crazy and kills his family? Not The Shining, but it's a more recent film.
You talking about American Murder?
No. A movie, not real life. Hey, something that I think is kind of interesting. The whole Ouija board thing.
Oh, the Ouija board?
What's it called?
Ouija board?
Ouija board, right?
Ouija.
Whatever.
It's like OJUIA, but it's Ouija.
Ouija board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things about that is like I've seen a ton of tests done on that, right? So it's like people that are like, oh, we're here. And it's like people are like, oh my God, it's moving and this and that. Yeah. And, they did I've seen like, I can't remember this magician's guy name. He's like all into debunking stuff.
Yeah.
And like he basically broke down the science of that, and how it works and why people will move it without even knowing that they moved it. So that when it comes down to everybody saying it, like, I didn't move it. So it's just funny because the one thing that it's something about yourself that you don't know, like your subconscious behavior, right? And it's called ideomotor. So it's like things that you do without knowing that you're doing it. So the ideomotor allows you to move that thing that they move around without you actually knowing that you did it. So even if you do it, other people don't know and you yourself don't know. So everybody's like, oh my God, no. So they show this perfectly in like a ton of tests. So what they did was like, they would like set up this room and, have people come in and they would do like readings. And then like everybody was like, oh my God, they would start to get letters. Is it you? They move over to yes. And it was like, it was damn interesting, right? It was like, oh my God. So they did the same test with the same people, except this time they blindfolded everybody and they put everybody on the board. And it's like, they're doing the same thing. And it's like, oh, hey, what's this and this? And you're watching people move the thing around, but it's not hitting any letters. They feel like they're hitting letters, but it's like,
yeah.
And you're just watching everybody do like, and they did it multiple times. And you're just like, oh, it is just ideomotor. It's like people think that it's real.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you feel like you didn't move it. Well, I didn't move it. And it's like, oh, it's this big thing.
When I was younger, my sister, when we were young, my sister used to be heavily involved in witchcraft. Right? And
oh, man.
No, I'm serious. So one time, her and her friends, they pull out the Ouija board. Yeah. And they were messing with it, right? And this is what freaked me out about the Ouija board, because because it was little. I was little. you know, they do it just like you said. They're moving, yada yada yada. But like, how do you explain like this? Their little thing, like their scissors that they had, it folded, it took off.
You have a great imagination.
No,
That's the only way I can explain it.
No, bro, you can't. Like I'm saying, bro, like everybody's got some weird ass shit that they can tell. Like everybody's got weird ass stories that they can tell from their childhood.
Yeah, that's true. But look, that's what I was just trying to give you an explanation that I feel like we could do that test with a ton of people and this you would get the same result every time. Where it's like if you blindfold people and you put everybody's hand on that Ouija board. I can't even freaking say it. Whatever, on that board, and you one word I can't say and you can. Thank you, Philip. Right? So it's like you would get the same results every time. It's like people, if they can see it, it would move to letters. But if they couldn't, they'd just be like randomly hitting shit and it would make no sense.
Or I'll tell you what, you get a bunch of your friends and y'all try it and y'all let me know how it goes.
Okay, I'm down. It's gotta be at noon.
It's gotta be outside with all the lights on, and then everybody's gotta spend it on my house afterwards.
Yeah, because I'm not fucking doing that shit alone in the dark.
Well, that's when you're supposed to do it. Candles lit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not I'm not here telling you that I don't believe in it. Well, I kind of don't, but.
Well, I remember you telling us that it's not that you don't believe in it. It's just that you don't want to think about it.
I don't want to think about things like that. You know, where it's
by
like
yourself.
Yeah, where it's
and
like
you have nobody to hug.
I'm not gonna be able to tell. What am I doing? There's nobody to snuggle here with.
So you won't go visit that hotel?
Hell no.
Why,
dude? All right. So in November of 2014. The haunting took a darker turn. Robert Stephen Larson Jr., 37, of Wisconsin, was a regular recreational paranormal visit with his friends when true horror struck. So the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said Larson suffered the self-inflicted injury at about 12:45 a.m., which is around the same time the 1912 axe murders happened.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, one, I'm not paying that amount of money to go spend a night somewhere like that. Second, they ain't even caught this motherfucker. No.
Well, it was 1912.
No,
so.
he's old. Either that or he had kids and he passed it down to them, hereditary. So you know, his son may come back like, oh, I'm gonna revenge my father, and while I'm fucking sleeping there, you know, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, so that's one of the incidents that they had there. You know, it was like this guy, but he never talked about it publicly. He kind of just like, it was reported. The owner was like, hey, man, look, we're all in for the fun of it. Obviously, we don't want people coming here and hurting themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so this is obviously a bad thing, but for the most part, when you come and stay here, you're just going to have, you know, at least just a good scare. Nowhere to where you're slicing your wrist or anything like that.
You know, Alfonso, we have a lot of road trips we need to do. First, we need to go visit Skinwalker Ranch,
Yeah.
And then we have to go all the way to Iowa. Where's this at? Iowa?
Yeah, Villisca.
Iowa. Then we need to go to Iowa and go stay
That's a really dope ass name.
Yeah, Iowa.
Yeah, because no, not Iowa. Villisca.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck's so dope about Iowa?
Villisca, Iowa, homie.
You could be called Idaho.
No. I knew where you were going with that.
Oh,
so I have
a joke.
Yeah, I had to throw one in there for you guys. So I have a deadly exorcism, and this was pretty fucking weird, man. So in August of 2016, in North London, a 26-year-old Kennedy IFE began acting strange and aggressive following a pain in his throat. He reportedly bit his father, threatened to cut off his own penis, and complained of a python or a snake inside of him before his family restrained him to a bed with cable ties and excessive force. So Kennedy, they don't actually say his name, it's hyphenated, but this guy Kennedy, he was bound to his bed for 3 days without medical attention when his brother called emergency services explaining that Kennedy was complaining of dehydration. He appeared to have developed breathing issues and the dude was pronounced dead at 10:17 a.m. as it was reported by the Independent. So this family, this kid goes crazy, and they're saying that he got possessed by something. He was saying that he could feel a python inside of him. He was trying to bite penises off. I don't know, but okay, so let me ask you this: as a father, if your kid starts going crazy, is your first thought to restrain this person for 3 days? Don't you think mental? Okay, this isn't in 1990. Okay, this is in 2016.
Yeah. Like
okay, like you wouldn't think of like, hey, maybe we need to put this motherfucker in a psych ward. You know,
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck?
Like, what was like? Did he just randomly just turn it on one day?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. He just started. He just began acting strange and acting aggressive.
Was
you know,
was he like talking in tongues or anything?
No, I don't.
Because I would have been like,
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
so
he was not. He was not. But you know, the family did literally kill this kid.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of
Okay, so you didn't give them food or
You didn't give
water
them
for
proper
3 days. Well, yeah. So I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? So
where's this at? Does it say where they're at?
it was in North London.
North London. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so when it comes to like people being possessed, like that's real. I've seen it happen. I've seen what it looks like. To be honest, like this ain't no you're like, oh, you're full of shit. No, bro, I'm serious. I've had a close family member that, you know, very normal, very, you know, just
Okay, but you don't think that's some kind of psychosis?
I don't know, like
It's treatable nowadays. You know what I'm saying? We have modern technology, modern medicine, man.
But like, yeah, the family should have. I don't know. What did they try? They even try to bring in like a priest or something?
No, they didn't. They were scared of him, so they just tied him. They
And
found
just
he was
left him
acting
there?
being real aggressive. Yeah, for 3 days. Yeah.
They didn't just thought to call it. So basically,
After 3 days, that's when they thought to call for medical
Seriously?
assistance. Yeah.
like what is that? 72 hours,
Yeah.
bro. I would have been.
And the dude died that same night.
Well, what did he die of? Dehydration.
Yeah. Hunger, dehydration.
I mean, for
he was
3 days.
bound to a bed.
I mean, I've seen people go on Naked and Afraid last longer than that. You know?
Yeah, but those are people that are like trained to do that.
No, Naked and Afraid. I'm about to get on that show. You know, I'm not trained to be out in
Yeah,
the woods
and
naked.
you're gonna be off that bitch in 2 hours.
I already said if
As
I'm
soon as
getting,
you stepped up, you're like, nope.
I already
Getting
said, as soon as
in.
I get bit by a mosquito, it's over. I'm tapping out. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, so all 7 of his family members were accused of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and causing or allowing the death of the vulnerable adult. A postmortem examination revealed after 60 wounds, including a possible bite, and his father, Kennedy, also had bites, along with 4 of his brothers. They also, all of them, sustained injuries. So this guy, he went fucking psycho and attacked everybody.
Yeah, I would have done.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess you do restrain the person, but then you immediately call for help.
Yeah, you call police. Unless there's a bigger story to
No,
that.
don't call police, man.
Oh,
Like,
I mean-
I think you need to get like some kind of.
Well, you gotta call
Well, if this
somebody.
person is violent,
Yeah,
maybe
you got to call the police because then they call whoever they need to call.
Yeah, because you know I don't want to shit on the police department, but I don't think they're like really equipped to handle with like
Well, it's
people that
London.
are losing their mind.
Well, it's London.
Oh, you're right. I'm
So,
thinking about the American
No,
police.
you don't call the American police. You call the London police.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're different.
Yeah. In what way?
Crikey, what's going on in here?
I believe that's Australian,
Oh.
sir. But okay. Well, dude, that's it, man. That's our show today, bro.
Oh yeah. Hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure that you go hit up our website, tacoswithbeer.com.
Yep.
And we have some merch coming. I know we said that last time, but it's coming.
Yeah,
It's
we're
coming.
working on it.
We're working on it little by little. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit up all of our social media accounts. Make sure you watch us live on YouTube and watch our other shows on YouTube. And thank you to all of our sponsors and our previous sponsors. And
We
that's
appreciate
it.
your support, guys.
Yeah, we do. We really do. And that's it from us. Remember, guys, make sure you keep those tacos hot and spicy.
And those beers coming. We're
we
out.
Hey, will you guys let me know if this ever airs?
I hate goodbyes.
Get the hell out of here!
Bye, Felicia. Thank God got home, man.